take a second, but I'm not sure if you guys are in Charlotte yet, but eventually welcome to Charlotte. What do you want to see from your side in this match? And in terms of Christian Pulisic playing, have you kind of decided on selection yet?
No, it's not decided yet. We have one more training session. We had 2 intense training sessions yesterday and decided to do one more today before we travel to Charlotte. And then it's all about the next step and the next step and the next step in pre-season. It's always like this. The focus is on our team, and we had an intense match against Club America, and now we will focus on that match to improve when we are playing versus Charlotte. So the meeting will be tomorrow, analyzing with the team will be tomorrow, and then we will focus a bit more on tactical issues because all the focus was on the physical input versus Club America.
Nizar Kinsella.
Hi Thomas, you've had your first training sessions with Kalidou Koulibaly. He actually just did an interview and said that you had a special conversation with him to convince him to join Chelsea. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And I guess it's too soon to see him play, maybe against Arsenal.
Yeah, we're a bit torn, and I have to speak to him. To be honest, still speak to him. What we do tomorrow, we will decide later in the afternoon. He did some training sessions now with us, but he's still in a very individual program, so no double sessions on the pitch. He trains with a team, but of course, as you can imagine, there are players who are like in the third week of preparation, who have a completely different level of foundation, physical foundation, and that is not a good match for him to straight start with a team and straight away play. I don't want to rule it out completely, but it's very likely that he maybe will not play tomorrow. We will not see him on the pitch tomorrow, and I'm happy because he's a calm guy, and you can see his quality on the pitch, his leadership. He has a certain personality that you feel when he's there, and this is good for us.
Kyle Bond.
Thank you, Thomas, for your time. I appreciate you doing this. Your squad already boasts a wealth of attacking talent. You added another top international player this window, Raheem Sterling. Between him, the likes of Ziyech, Mount, Pulisic, Havertz, Werner, I mean, it goes on down the line. There's only so many minutes to go around. Do you feel like there's a good balance of players right now, or do you think it might be hard to keep everyone on the field?
It's a bit easier this season because we have 5 changes and it's very likely that we will use most of the changes for offensive players because they are the positions where you normally can have a huge impact and where the intensity is very high. So normally you don't change so much in the back of your defense or in central midfield. So I think this can play a huge role in giving minutes. On the other hand, of course, we are also keen to find a more or less a starting lineup and a mixture that is good together and provides goals and assists and danger for the opponent. So it's a mix between both of it. In the moment we have a lot of offensive players and we need to try to find spaces, and we need to try to find positions and a role, because everybody needs a role to feel confident and that the players can be the best versions of themselves.
Varun Shankar.
Hi, so Charlotte is obviously in an interesting position where they're playing you guys in an exhibition game in the middle of their actual season. As a coach, how would you manage wanting to, try? How would you manage approaching a game like this?
Me in the shoes of the Charlotte coach, or me as me?
I mean, if Chelsea was in a similar position, how would you handle it?
I think given the fact that it's maybe not so often that they play against European teams and big European teams. So I think that the players, the team, the coach, and the whole club, they want to show their best face and the best mentality and their best performance. So I'm very sure that they will prepare in a very serious way and will not see it as a friendly match. That's my suggestion, and that's how I would handle it. But in pre-season it's very difficult to predict what's going to happen. Maybe Charlotte gives players a chance who are like now a little bit in the shade, or like try to make an impression for their league campaign. I simply don't know it. That's why we can of course discuss about it. But in the end, in pre-season is 99% about your own team and about your own development and about building and finding your own form, and that's where the focus will be.
Matt Law.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Obviously, we heard yesterday that the 4 lads have left the squad. Armando's gone home, and 2 of them have gone to the under-23s.
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask you 2 questions on that. On Armando, do you expect him to leave the club? We know that West Ham have made a bid for him. And then on the others, what was the thought process between letting those guys leave the squad, whereas players maybe not with a long-term future at Chelsea, Michy Batshuayi, Ross Barkley, Kennedy, they've stayed with the squad?
Yeah, but we know also, we know the players very well. We know Tino Anjorin pretty well. We know Billy Gilmore pretty well. And Harvey Vale we know because he trained with us last season. Armando was injured. I don't expect Armando to leave. We are aware of offers and we are aware of interest. That just tells us that there is a lot of potential. And we will take this decision together with the owners and me, and in the end also with the player. And right now, he was like, when he arrived, for me it was clear that he is trying to impress and he's trying to become a Chelsea player as soon as possible. After his loan in Southampton, the situation was very clear to make the next step, to show his improvement, to make an impression in pre-season. Unfortunately, he injured himself. And of course, there's a lot of noise going on because there is offers and there is interest in him. So let's see how this goes. But I'm pretty calm about it because we know the situation and we have a contract, and from there we go. The decisions we took, I didn't like them to be honest, because all of the players deserve to stay here. All of the players deserve to stay here. Also, the players who stayed deserve to stay here because, like the 3 guys you mentioned, are doing fantastic in training and are heavily involved and like physically came totally fit. Ross was an example in every training session so far and got a little injury now. That is a bit of a setback. But these are the decisions to take, and Billy Gilmore we know very well. Tino Anjorin we struggle to find a bit the role where he should play for us. But I'm a big fan of Tino, so and Harvey the same. They know that I had the talk with them. They know I didn't like to send them away, but the group was simply too big to continue like this. And then we had the chance to not send them home straight away, but to keep them in America and to let them train and play, give them playing time with the under-23. So this was the decision, and I promised them once we are back in London we will have this talk individually and see what's best for them, and maybe then we do when we have a clearer view on our team and on whom we trust and whom we build the group around, then we do maybe the swap that you suggested.
Michael Bridge.
Hi Thomas.
Hi.
Yes, I was going to ask about Breuer, but I'll make it more generic now in terms of your squad, about players coming home. Will you make more of a decision group-wise with your squad when, as the weeks go on, maybe more incomings and potentially more outgoings as well? Breuer being an example, because you might be a little light up front if he goes.
Yes and no. I think we have a lot of options, but maybe not the type of player that Armando is. And still we have always, like also last season with him and last season with Connor, we always have to weigh up our interest and the players' interest and what's good for the club. So can we offer? And we can play. We can talk about it very in a general way. The question is, what is good for the players? Do we have a role or don't we have a role? Is there a prospect of getting minutes, or is there no prospect of getting minutes? Because if there isn't, I think like players like Armando, who already played Premier League, is not enough if they only train with a group. Sometimes for very young players, like for Harvey Vale, it can be like in the transition of youth football and Premier League football. It can be okay for a year where you where you just adapt to the intensity, physicality, and speed in training. But at some point you need games, and I think like for Armando and players who already played in Premier League, we have to look at the situation very, very carefully, individually, and decide if we have the minutes that we can offer, that he continues to grow in his development, or if it's better to bring him onto another loan to give him match minutes.
It looks like your new signings have really settled in quickly, Thomas.
Yeah.
Is that a good idea, like just to bring in your new players as quickly as possible? I know it's not easy sometimes, but do you have a figure in mind how many more you would like to bring in?
Yeah, I have a figure. I think we need a couple more players in to improve the squad. I mean, we have been third last season. We can now discuss endlessly about the reasons, but there was a gap between us and Manchester City and Liverpool. And in general, if you want to keep your position, if you want to fight about the same position, you need to improve. You can never stand still. If you stand still, other teams will overtake you. So, given the situation that we even lost players, it's for me common sense that we need to bring new quality to the team to maintain our level, and not even speaking about like improving our level. So, this is the situation where we are right now. It's always the dream of every manager, I think, that you find players maybe within their own league and who can adapt maybe quicker than other players, but it's also a very individual process. Of course, we see that Raheem knows many players from national team, and he is very, very familiar with the habits in English clubs, of course. So this is very nice to see. And for Kalidou, I think it's a big help that we have some French guys, that we have Edu, his teammate in national team, and of course Shorshi, who is a big help from Napoli to make the process of integration faster, because this is huge, and both of them should be huge players for us, and that's why we need to speed things up.
Last question for Thomas before Christian Pulisic joins us. Adam Newson.
Hi, Thomas.
Hi.
Following on from Matt's point, really, obviously someone like Levi Colwill isn't someone we've seen yet at the weekend because he was injured. Is he now fit? And do you see him as a young player being ready to play for Chelsea this season if needed? And is Raheem ready to go tomorrow?
To start from the back, Raheem is absolutely ready to go tomorrow. He will be on the pitch tomorrow, and we are happy about that, and he is excited to play his first match. And with Levi, it's too early to give an answer. Everything I would say now, I maybe have to take back or give you another opinion in some weeks. I haven't seen enough of him in our group, because unfortunately he got a little bit of injury and was out of training for now several days. And once you're out for several days in pre-season, it takes a while to catch up again, especially for players who are not used to train on that kind of level, like Levi. The fact that he's still here is very easy. We don't know him enough, so he needs to stay here. We need to have further impressions. We need to have more impressions of him to give a better outlook on the situation. He had a good spell on loan, and then we need to think carefully at the end of pre-season what's best for him. But I can only repeat, like what Trevor Chalobah did last season, and Malang Sarr, everybody is invited to do the same, and this is same situation for Levi.
Okay, that's all we've got time for Thomas. Stay on the line, and Christian Pulisic will be...
Antonio Ramos here for Charlotte FC in Spanish. You played here in Charlotte in 2018 with Dortmund against Liverpool at Bank of America Stadium. Actually, you scored a brace. Now you'll have the chance to play with Chelsea against the City's pro team now in the same stadium. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm really excited to be back in Charlotte. I think it's cool to see how far along the sport has come there, and the MLS team. Obviously, getting to play against them will be a great experience. So I'm just thrilled to be back here with Chelsea and be back in the States and get a chance to play here again.
Okay, Darren.
Christian, it's probably a little bit early in the conversation to ask you about this. We only get to someone of your seniority, particularly with the Americans international team. But I'm part of a group of journalists that have been here for a very short time. And already we've seen, I was brought up myself into the activity which we thought was the case at my hotel. Thank God it turned out not to be. But I just wondered if I could get your thoughts on the gun situation here in America and how difficult it must be.
Darren, two things.
It was a difficult question. I had a chance to ask you once. So just thought we'd take this opportunity.
Darren, two things. First thing is that was breaking up considerably during your question. And the second thing is that isn't something for Christian to answer in this press conference. So we're going to move on.
Sorry, I can't hear what you're saying. Forgive me. Say again.
Yeah, the first thing was that your question was breaking up a lot. And the second thing is that isn't something for Christian to answer in this press conference today. So I'm afraid we're going to move on to Kyle. If you're there, Kyle.
All right. Yep, sorry about that. It's just a process to get that going. I appreciate your time, Christian. There's a number of your American international teammates coming into the Premier League this season. Brendan and Tyler at Leeds, Matt, Arsenal, Chris Richards maybe close to a move as well. Are you excited to play against these guys? Some of your teammates that you've played with a number of times now getting to play against them. And have you spoken to any of them about what the league is like and what to expect?
I'm very excited. Yeah, I've been in conversation with them. It's just amazing to see some of my teammates that I played with for so long, other Americans, getting to play in this, what we feel is the best league in the world. So yeah, I've had conversations with them, but at the end of the day, they know what to expect. They're great players, and they're going to have to go through the same things I've had, that I've gone through, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how they do.
Any more questions? Anyone? Last chance now if you use the raise hand function. Okay, we'll go to Michael at Sky.
Okay, I don't know if you were bringing me in on this, but Christian, the last time you were here, there was a lot of question, playing against Liverpool, whether you were going to possibly end up at that team before going to Chelsea. Did you have any idea when you were here the last time where you were going to end up?
At that time, I don't think I really had that in my head, to be honest. I was focusing on preseason, but I don't exactly remember when that was in my career exactly. But yeah, I think I had another full season there in Dortmund, and then I was able to come to this club, which is incredible, and I'm super happy to be here. But at the time, no, I didn't know, or I wasn't thinking anything like that.
Okay, go to Michael next.
Your cousin is just up the road at NCFC. You expecting him to come down from Raleigh for the game?
I was speaking to him all week. He has a very busy schedule. I think he had like 3 away games in a row, so I'm not sure if he's going to make it. But he already texted me, and he's been supporting me, and I've been following him as well. So I don't think I'll get to see him, unfortunately, but hopefully soon.
Cheers, Steve. Michael?
Hi, Christian. I know this tour gives you immense pride going from place to place, but do you feel the support gets bigger every time you come back here with the English game?
Yeah, absolutely. I think just the sport in general in America has grown so much since I first started playing over in Europe. It's really cool to see. When I first moved over, there was a following, but now coming back, just seeing the amount of Americans and the amount of people, even with their, Premier League jerseys on whatever team it is, it's cool to see. It's fun to see the support and just how much, like I said, the sport has grown.
Okay, move on to Varun.
Hey, Christian, kind of expanding on that last point, what role do you think that these kinds of games can play into growing the sport here?
I think it can, play big roles. I think, already so many of my, friends and family and people that I hear that are trying to come out to see these games. It's to them, they don't get to go and see Premier League games every weekend, so it's really big for them to come and see some of their favorite teams playing in the States against MLS teams. So I think it's just a good way to bring people out and sort of get a taste of what the game is like and how we play it, and seeing it in your own country is really special. So I think it can have a big role.
Okay, we're going to move on to Nicholas next.
Christian, welcome back. I know you're focused on your own upcoming season and your own side and league, but who are you most familiar with on Charlotte FC?
I know a few of the guys. There's no one that I would say that I'm most familiar with, but I think it's going to be a good test. I think it'll be fun to play against some American guys, American competition, and just a new MLS team. I think is going to be fun for us to experience.
Okay, we're going to do two more now. We're going to go to Caleb, and then after that we'll finish with Adam.
Hey Christian, hope you're doing well. Kind of wanted to go back and touch bases with how you said the sport is growing here in Charlotte. What exactly does having a MLS team in a state do for the community and do for the growth of the game within that state and that region?
Yeah, I think it just gives people a team to sort of cling on to and feel like it's theirs. I think that's huge for any city, any state, especially in America. It's just big to help grow the sport. Before they didn't have a massive soccer team to go and support and know that there's going to be thousands of fans at the games watching, and now they have that, which I think is just going to bring people out, get Americans out watching games, and it's just a great thing to see.
The last one, guys, with Adam.
Hi, Christian. Obviously, Chelsea are now under American ownership. Have you had an opportunity yet to speak to the new owners, and has the subject of maybe your future come up at all? Because I remember when we spoke before, I think it was Real Madrid, you said that you weren't thinking about it at that time, but you've got a couple of years left now in your deal, and it's the point where a lot of players do start thinking about their future. So have you had a chance to do that yet and talk with the owners?
I've had conversations with the owners. Obviously, it's cool having some American guys around and getting to meet them and have conversations. But it's mostly right now focusing on what's going on at Chelsea. To be honest, what's happening in the preseason, obviously being in America is amazing, and we're just excited to get the season started. So truthfully, I'm just very focused on how I can help this team right now and how I can continue to do that in the near future.
Cheers, everyone. We're going to finish it there.